Okay, guys, it is January 30th, and as far as I know, this is one of the first tornadoes of the season. So I'm down here in Oklahoma City in this area, and it's bright and sunny outside. And I got word that there was a tornado warning by my mom, and she actually lives right in that red spot just below in Miami, Oklahoma. They call it Miami, Oklahoma. So this area is tornado warned, and there was if you click on this right here, so in the past, this was marked. Well, it was marked earlier as a storm spotter spotted a tornado here. So she's right here, and I'm watching. I actually called her and let her know, and there was warnings all over the place. But she was in this area, and then she was driving to town right here up this road, Miami, Oklahoma, and she got warning, so she drove back and went home. But I'm keeping her advised. I know the tornado's in this area, and it's moving right now, or at least it's awfully early in the year, man. It's so weird. It's so bright and sunny here in Oklahoma City, just not a cloud in the sky, but just 2 hours, two and a half hours northeast of us, tornado just out of the blue. Just surprising. It's so early in the season. It's so warm out too. I'm shocked. It's like 65 degrees here. It's so much warmer here than where I used to live. Anyway, so here we're looking at the base reflectivity, and then over here we have I'm not worried about my mom. She's fine. I think it'll go north of her. I think it's going to go north of her. It's probably not even on the ground anymore. It's just tornado warned. And over here we have if you click on the window, it tells you this is GR2Analyst, the storm relative velocity, and I'm not seeing any more. Right here we've got hail of a 6.3 inches. I'm actually going to text her right now. So I just texted her that she's getting almost almost an inch size hail possibly in this area. But she's got a carport. And some part of me says, she's actually driving back into danger. If she knew this radar, she could actually drive away from the danger. If you're right here, you wouldn't drive up into it, right? Even if your home is there, you drive down away from it. That doesn't mean that this can't produce a tornado either, Bo. And there's shelter at home, so I'm not saying anything about that. All right, so we're looking at this over here, storm relative velocity, and this is showing. So our radar is right here. I'm going to right click and do show range rings. Now I'm going to say turn off range rings. Okay, so when we show range rings, I want it to be from the satellite. The radar. I want to know which way it's going. So it doesn't look like we have much of a signature here for a tornado. It looks like all the wind is going away from. It doesn't look like there's any coming back towards. And this is still tornado warned, and there's hail, but I don't think there's a tornado anymore, which I will probably update her on. This right here is I'm not real familiar with this spectrum width. The spectrum width, all I know is if there's a lot of colors, then something's going on right there. So this is saying something's going on right here. There's a lot of differences in the pixels, and I don't know much about spectrum width, so I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it, but we've still got our tornado warning here. So look at that. It's so isolated, so small, in just that little area, but it doesn't matter. If you're in it, you're in it. It's weird how they have this line right along the state border, as if the storm cares about the border, Okay, and now down here, this is the echo tops. This is looking down. The echo top kind of gives you an idea. Oh, there was another tornado right there. Or is that the same one? That's the same one. This is looking down and showing you how high the tops are, and the tops up here will tell you, let's pause it, the tops right here are at 23,000 feet. And so we are using GR2Analyst, so we can do something like this. I'm going to take a look at this storm right here in 3D. You can see that's actually not very tall. This is a 3D model of that storm. Here's your thousands of feet, and we are at most about 20,000 feet. If we wanted to get a little bit more of the greenage, like it looks like it's topped out at 20,000 feet, but that does not mean there's not a tornado. But you can really zoom in and kind of see. One of the interesting things is whenever I look at this, I notice how these columns, when you go outside, they always look like they're going up, but they're actually leaning forward. So that looks like kind of a little bit of a hook right there, doesn't it? You can kind of see the strength right there in the middle. It's very, very interesting. great software, man. I'm so glad I got it. But I mean, I was able to kind of go and warn my mom, and I'm not worried about her because, for one, there's no more tornado, and two, she's at home safe, and three, the chances of it actually going across are very low. I could place my marker here. She lives somewhere in this area. I grew up here, by the way. Also, we used to go to Joplin all the time because there was nothing else to do. Tulsa was a little too far. Joplin was about 25 minutes to get here, and this is where we would go. And my mom was actually here after the big F5 hit. She was in Joplin that day shopping and all, and came home, and like 2 hours later it got hit by the F5. But I'm going to monitor this. Just watch it go by, and I think she's now, I mean, the chances of getting hit by a tornado are very low. If you've ever gone storm chasing, I'm not saying they're zero. I'm just saying if you've ever gone storm chasing, you realize finding a tornado is incredibly difficult. And I just thought I'd share this with you. These are from the past. I don't think there's a whole lot of storm spotters on this because it was kind of random, and this is kind of a sparse area. There's not a big city here. I doubt there's any storm chasers on this, like hardcore storm chasers. There's just not enough to chase for the big guys. You know what I mean? That's why there could be a tornado in here and no one's reporting it. And that's why we need storm spotters, right? That's why you need to go out and become a storm spotter. Google Skywarn, Stormwatch, all that kind of stuff. We'll just keep watching this now progress. I'm calling her. I'm gonna.
Hello?
Hi, how's it going?
Okay, I'm back home.
How did you know there was a storm?
I got an alert on my phone. I got two.
Wow, that's cool.
When I got down to the fairgrounds, I got a bing alert. I pulled over and it says, confirmed tornado warning, take cover now, and all. Then when I got back home, I got another one.
Wow. So I'm looking at the radar, and it's still tornado warned, but I don't think there's one on the ground still.
Okay, it said tornado warning. That's what it said.
Now, how does it look there? Does it look scary and dark and everything?
It's been raining all day. No, it's just dismal looking, but no.
Okay, it would be.
I can hear thunder right now. I can hear. Let me take a picture and I'll show you what it looks like.
Would you believe that it's sunny here without a cloud?
Oh, I can hear thunder right now, Tom.
Yeah.
But I stepped outside. Yeah, it's just, thank goodness for those warnings on my phone.
Well, it's still.
Can you believe it?
It's still west of you, just past Welch. It looks like it's moving really slow, and there's 1 inch hail.
Okay, and what direction's it going?
Your direction.
Oh my Lord.
It's kind of
okay.
It's kind of going northeast, though. I don't think it's going to hit you.
Okay.
But
I'll take a picture, but you do hear storms in the background now. Oh, it was just raining and on. I thought, my phone said it was going to quit raining at 2. I thought, well, I'll go out there at 2. So I just got to the fairgrounds when I got the warning.
yeah, so the warning, I don't know much about the warning, but you're going to get some heavy rains coming up here. This stuff.
Okay, well, it has rained all day, just not heavy, but rained all day long. Very dismal.
Yeah.
But I'll take a picture and show you, but no, it's just, yeah, can you hear it?
Yeah, just you want to stay inside for the next 30 minutes.
Okay, all right, I'll take a picture
Stay
and
in
I'll
the
go back inside.
stay in the bathroom and get your weather radio.
My radio, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Now I'll let her know later that I'm making a video that she's on. I always let people know that they're being recorded. Anyway, that's it. She got an alert on her phone. I didn't know how, but interesting, huh? But she's right here, and I think she's going to be fine. But what I think is going to happen, this is going to move up. Okay, I just learned something. I'm going to go back in time right now to the beginning of where I started polling. And so what you can do is you can measure the storm speed by finding an interesting point, like maybe the hook. You right-click and you place a marker. Then you go forward in time. You can go as much as you want, but you need to go at least 1. And then you find that same interesting point, and you right-click and you do storm motion from marker. And what you get up here in the top right, storm motion vector is what I think that is. So it's heading at 276 degrees at 23 knots. I think knots are a little bit faster than miles per hour, but just roughly 20 miles per hour. And so we got 20 mile per hour storm. That's pretty slow. And so you can kind of figure out when it's going to be there if you know that. But that's one way to detect how fast it's going. So we got 23 miles an hour at 276. So if you can kind of look back, it's kind of going to the northeast just a little bit. And as I mentioned, my mom's in the storm area and she's about to get hit with heavy rains. But I don't think this hook here is going to hit anyone. And we got 3/4 inch hail right here. So we got, this is the latest that we've got. Half inch hail right there. And here we've got, now there's a hail tool over here. Possibility of severe hail. Right here and here. She's probably going to miss the hail, and then I'm not sure what MEHS is, but I think it also has to do with hail. Anyway, that's interesting. Maybe I could put down here in this window, I could put possibility of severe hail, and then we could kind of keep an eye where the hail is. If you know you're in this path, your car is going to get dented. All right, this still looks like a hook kind of thing. If I were chasing this, I would want to be, I don't know where I'd want to be. Maybe like right here. These could always develop something, come up behind you, but maybe over here. I don't know how far you can see. Maybe be right here and not hope something develops, but you probably want to be right about here. So you can, you're not in it, you're following it, you could see it, but this right here could develop into something also. Well, let's just keep watching. So let's look at the new development. We've waited about 10 more minutes, and now we've got, this is tornado warned over here, and it doesn't look like much actually, but if you look at this spectrum with it, looks like you've got your weird colors in here. If someone wants to leave a comment and tell me what this means exactly, all I know is there's a lot of weird colors here, and that indicates possible tornado activity or wind shear or strong winds. But we might want to at some point shift over to Springfield's radar, and you do that by going up here to site select. I'll do it for a second, but then I want to go back because I'm not that interested. Yeah, Missouri. And you're going to be seeing a lot of greens as it goes that towards the radar there. And again, I always like to do the show range rings. So there's Springfield, and we can see how far away it is, kind of generally from the, look how red that is. And the storm, look at that. This is interesting because these are the winds blowing away from the radar, and it's almost directly pointing that way. These are blowing towards, so this is going that way, and that's going that way. That indicates a lot of rotation right here. That's not good. I don't see any storm spotted stuff at that point. But this is the storm relative velocity, and here we've got that what looked like that little tiny storm over here, the same thing. Now let's go over here and use our 3D tool just for fun. Let's take a look at this storm. It looks like a WIMP, doesn't it? I mean, just a little blip. Doesn't mean it can't grow into something. So not only is it short at less than 20,000 feet, you know storms get up to 50, 60,000 feet, right? You know that, right? But this looks weak to me. Doesn't mean there's not something there. I'm just saying it seems weak to me. But it can develop into something, but there's definitely a lot of wind shear here. When going one direction, and when going two directions, and that's not what you want to see. And this is annoying. If you don't go back here and change that, this looks pretty heavy to me. Let's see what on the radar. Yep, this is what both here and here has that signature of a possible tornado, or at least rotation, strong rotation. Hail size 0.83 inches. And then, like I said before, I think my mom's okay being right here. Let's run it to the end. Very slow moving storm at 23 knots. That's pretty slow. Boy, if I was in Afton right now, I'd be worried. Not worried, but I would definitely be taking cover if I was in this area right here. If I was chasing this, I'd want to be down here and I don't know. It depends on the roads. The roads can really mess you up. I've chased in this area before. It is really, really, really terrible place to chase because there's only dirt roads pretty much. But if I could, I'd want to be west of this or south of this just to see it go by. But I wouldn't want to be in Afton right now. Now let's take a look at our 3D model. By the way, they've got a 2D model, and what we could do is run the 2D model, and that looks like this. Yeah, that's pretty cool because you can see very easily 30,000 feet, up to 30,000 feet. But let's do the 3D model, and I'm going to go around Afton. We can see that looks fairly strong. Base reflectivity. I'm not seeing a lot of red, though. That looks like it's awfully high up. See, this is why you need storm spotters, because the radar does not have any information below a certain level. And something could be on the ground here and you wouldn't know it, and that's why you have to have storm spotters, because the radar is shooting up into the air. It's missing that. Anyway, let's get back in Afton. I bet you they're taking shelter in Afton right now. What worries me most about Afton would be this right here. This is the hail. The hail going right down Highway 44. Oh my God. This is a major highway, a tollway, and it's going right here. So this wind, let's go back to Tulsa. I'm going to go to Site, Select, Oklahoma. We'll get maybe a little bit better information. I keep doing that. I have to change. I wish that would cancel after a minute. Well, you can't see it as well here, can you? Look at that. It's all reversed because it's moving away. This is moving away, and that's moving towards the radar. So definitely, I wouldn't want to be right here. I wouldn't want to be in this area. But I would want to be over here. So these people are flying down this highway. There's lots of people on here, and they're going through some heavy rain right now. I wish I could see it. But if I look out my window, it is bright and sunny. So my mom is okay. I think she's right here. This stuff's going to pass. Yeah, it's going to pass underneath her. She's fine. You know, I'd still let her take cover, but she doesn't have a basement. Most people in Oklahoma don't have basements, by the way, because the soil is what I heard is it's got a lot of clay and it does not absorb moisture. So whenever it rains, it just runs over the clay. And if you have a basement, it'll just go right into your basement. So you can't really have I don't know of anybody that has a basement in Oklahoma. My mom does not. I do not. You just can't have them. But you can have a storm shelters, though. You can have a little bit, but people just don't have regular basements. So looking down here at this model, the spectrum width, looks like we got some weird colors there. Weird colors in Afton, definitely. All these things, I mean, it's pretty simple. This is pretty simple. You know what's going on here, right? There's obviously winds are going two different directions here. There's stuff going on here. And it's heading that way. It's heading that direction. So it's not that hard to follow this stuff once you get a little bit used to it. And then here's the hail, often following those same spots. Okay, so I think the danger's passed for my mom. I just heard that Reed Timmer's talking about it on Twitter, but I deleted Twitter because Twitter sucks. And Facebook sucks also. I don't want to get zucked. Don't let them zuck you, man. Delete all that crap. All right, I'm going to let you go. I think this is pretty cool, pretty interesting. If anything else goes crazy, I'll come back on and let you know, but we're all safe. I think she's good now. If you're here, and it's going that way, I think the worst is past. So, as a follow-up, I was able to find a couple pictures that were posted on Twitter. My wife showed me where they were. So here they are. This is that very tornado. It's no huge F5 or anything, but there it is. And it looks very much like the land surrounding my mom in northeast Oklahoma. Just a lot of cow land, farmland. Here's another view of that. I was able to get this picture also. It looks very familiar. I'm not sure exactly where it was, but this is how you want to see a tornado, if you can see it off in the distance. All right, guys, hit the like button very softly. Don't smash it. Hit very softly. Please like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. It helps me out. I appreciate it. Thanks, and goodbye.